just the chance to wear your heart. You can set the bar beyond the stars. I'll do anything, anything you ask me to.
Hey there, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitars Already Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play Risk It All by Bruno Mars, which is a wonderfully romantic tune. It's got some really great guitar parts to it and some super exotic chords. For the basics, you'll just need a guitar and standard tuning without a capo. This whole song is fingerpicked. Now, if you are new to fingerpicking, then I've got a free mini course called Fingerpicking Foundations. You could grab access to that in the description below. In that free mini course, I teach you 3 incredibly valuable exercises which help you develop clarity and control with your picking hand. Alternatively, if you're fairly new to guitar in general and you're looking to build a strong and solid foundation but you don't know where to start, then check out the Guitars Already Hero Premium course and membership, which gives you all the guidance to play with confidence. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Let's jump into the lesson. Let's jump into the song. Now, for our fingerpicking basics, generally speaking, my thumb is going to take care of the 6th, 5th, and 4th string, and my index, middle, and ring finger will take care of the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings respectively. There are exceptions to this throughout the song, but I'll get to those later. So let's start off with the intro, and we're just going to be mostly strumming some chords here. We're going to start off with an E minor 7 bar chord. So with your index finger, place it on the 7th fret of the 5th string, and then bar it, ring finger on the 9th fret of the 4th string, and middle finger on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. Now we're just going to strum this, and I'm going to focus on the middle 4 strings there, like that with my thumb. Then we're going to go to an A7 sus4. So again, our index finger is barring, this time from the 5th fret of the 6th string. And our ring and pinky fingers will go on the 7th frets of the 5th and 3rd string. I'm just going to strum up to the 3rd string there. And that's on the 1 beat. On the end beat after the 2, I'm going to lift my pinky finger and just go to an A7 shape and strum this twice. And that's on the end 3 beat. And 3 and 4 and... Now, there are a lot of bar chords in this song. I've created a free bar chord survival guide, which you can download for free below, which gives you my PDF guide on how to play bar chords, some really great tips, and also 2 must-watch videos, which will help you with your bar chords. You can grab that in the description below. Now, for the 3rd bar, we're gonna go to a D major 7 chord shape. So from the A7, you can keep your middle finger where it is, placing the index finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string and ring and pinky fingers on the 7th fret of the 4th and 2nd string. We're just going to strum the middle 4 strings, and then we're shifting down to a B7 sus4. So all the way down to 2nd fret with your index finger, ring finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string, pinky finger on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. We're going to strum the middle 4 strings again. And on the end beat after the 2, we'll shift our pinky finger down 1 fret, so it's a B7 now, and we'll strum this twice. All right, so that's the first line of tab for the intro, which sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. For the second line tab, we start off with the E minor 7 again. And then for the 2nd bar, we go to an A7 sus4. So index finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd. We're gonna pluck this chord shape at 8th notes. So the 5th string first, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. So 1 and 2 and... Now we're gonna quickly shift up to this shape here. So 9th fret of the 4th string with your middle, 8th fret of the 2nd string with your index. All right. We'll pinch those 2 strings together, so 4th and 2nd, then move your middle finger down to 7th, and ring finger will go to the 7th fret of the 2nd string. Pinch that, then down to 5th fret, and then shift the middle finger down to 4th fret, index finger now goes back behind that middle finger to the 3rd fret. All right, so 4 pinches there. So that bar in total. we shift this middle finger down 2 frets to the 2nd fret, get into an A7 position, strum the middle 4 strings. So that is the intro in total, which will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Okay, now we get to verse and chorus number 1. There's 4 lines of tab here. We're going to start with our E minor 7 chord shape, and instead of strumming it, we're now going to pluck it at 8th notes. So we're going to go 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd string, and then hold that out for the rest of the bar. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we go to our A7 sus4 shape here. We're going to again pluck at 8th notes, but on the 3 beat, we'll then go down to the A7, so the 6th fret of the 3rd string. So 1 and 2 and lift the pinky, 6th fret to the A7. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we go to our D major 7. We're going to pluck this at 8th notes, the same way we did the E minor 7. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then down to our B7 sus4, same as the intro. We're going to pluck this 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd string, and then shift that pinky finger down to the 4th fret for the B7, and we'll strum there. So the final bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. In this line of tab in total, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. For the second line of tab, we start off with the same E minor 7. Then we go to our A7, not an A7 sus4. We're going to pluck the top 4 strings, 1 and 2, and then we shift to an A over G. So with your index finger, that bars across the 2nd frets of the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. And with your middle finger, play the 3rd fret of the 6th string, so the G note. We're going to pluck the 6th string, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. All right, so that bar in total, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then an F sharp minor 7. Now you can just bar your index finger if you want, or you can also include the ring finger on the 4th fret of the 5th string. I like to do that just for good practice. In case you happen to hit the 5th string, it's still F sharp minor 7. So we're going to pluck 6th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and then we're going to shift up to a funky looking chord called a C6 flat 5. So the shape is very similar to that A over G, but we're up at 8th fret and 7th fret with your index finger. And you also have your pinky finger fretting on the 9th fret of the 3rd string, okay? We're gonna pluck 6th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. All right, so that bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we go to a B7 chord shape, same as an A7 bar, but just up at 7th and 9th fret. And we're gonna strum up to the 3rd string. Right, so things are starting to get a little bit tricky now, and there's some very interesting chord shapes. So that line of tab in total, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. For the third line of tab, we're going to go to an E minor 7 like this. So index finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. We'll pluck the 6th, 5th, 4th, and then pluck the 3rd and 2nd strings together. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we go to a G minor 6. So middle, ring and pinky fingers on the 3rd fret of the 6th, 3rd and 2nd string, and index finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th. We'll pluck 6th, 4th, 3rd and 2nd. Then to our F sharp minor 7 with the same picking pattern. And then to the B7 sus4 to B7, the same way we had it in the first line of tab. So in total, the third line of tab, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 For the fourth liner tab, we start off with our E minor 7 again. We're going to pluck the 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. And then we're going to do a series of pinches, which is similar to what we had in the intro. So we're going to start with this 9th and 8th fret position. Already in the E minor 7 position, we just need to pinch 4th and 2nd. Then shift our ring finger down to 7th fret, and same with our pinky finger on the 7th fret of the 2nd string. Pinch that, take it down to 5th fret. Take our ring finger down to 4th, and then middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. All right, so 4 pinches there. And then ring finger down to 2nd fret, pinky onto the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. Strum the A7 there. Hold that out. All right, so the first 2 bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go to a D major 7 sus2. It's the same as our D major 7, except we have our pinky finger lifted. We'll strum the middle 4 strings, and then on the end beat after the 2, pinky finger back on, strum it twice. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then for the 4th bar, we just strum up to the 1st string. So the 4th liner tab. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. That's verse and chorus 1, which will sound like this along with a metronome. Next we get to verse and chorus 2. It is a little bit different to verse 1. There's a little bit more going on. It gets a bit more complex. We start off with the same chords though for the first liner tab. So E minor 7, and we're going to change up the picking pattern a little bit. We're going to go 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd, and then back to the 5th string twice, and then back to 3rd and 2nd string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we go to our A7, a similar picking pattern. This time though, we are going to take our index and middle fingers to the 4th and 3rd strings. So we'll pluck 6th, 5th, 4th and 3rd, then back to the 6th string twice, and then pluck 4th and 3rd. All right, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We go to our D major 7 chord, same picking pattern as the E minor 7. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down to the B7 sus4. Again, same picking pattern, except on the very last pluck of the 3rd and 2nd strings, that's where we shift our pinky finger down to the B7. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the first liner tab. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, second line of tab, we have our E minor 7 the same way we had in the first line tab. Then we shift to the A7, the A over G, the F sharp minor 7, and the C6 flat 5, the same way that it was played in verse number 1. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But for this fourth bar, instead of going to our B7 and just strumming it, we're going to pluck it. So 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd string, and then we're going to go to some funky chord shapes here. So first off is a C sharp half diminished. So index and middle fingers on the 4th frets of the 5th and 3rd string, and ring and pinky fingers on the 5th frets of the 4th and 2nd. So we'll strum those middle 4 strings, and then we're going to shift up to a D sharp diminished 7. So for that, ring and pinky fingers just slide up to the 7th fret, middle finger on 6th fret of the 5th string, and index finger lags behind and goes to the 5th fret of the 3rd string. So strum those middle 4 strings. So that final bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So a bit of a finger twister there, but just take it slow and repeat it again and again, and you'll get used to it. So the second line of tab, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. For the third line of tab, we start off that E minor 7, then a G minor 6, the same chord shape we had in verse and chorus number 1. We're going to pluck 6th string, 4th, 3rd and 2nd, back to the 6th string twice, and then the 3rd and 2nd. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we'll play the F sharp minor 7, same picking pattern as that G minor 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the 4th bar is the same as the 4th bar in the first line of tab. It's a B7 sus4 to B7. So the third line of tab, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And for the fourth line of tab, we have our E minor 7 again. We're going to pluck 5th, 4th, 3rd and 2nd back to the root note. And then we're going to do those pinches where we shift down, similar to the intro and the first verse and chorus. So pinch here at 9th and 8th, 7th, 5th, 4th and 3rd, and then we get to our A7. So the first bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then to our A7, we're going to pluck 5th, 4th, 3rd and 2nd, 5th string twice, and then back to 3rd and 2nd. Then to our D major 7 sus 2, similar to the intro, and then up to the D major 7 twice. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And now for the fourth bar, we have some more funky chords. So from our D major 7, lift your middle finger and shift your pinky finger up to the 8th fret. So D7 sus 4 here, strum this, shift down your pinky, so it's a D7 now. And then we'll shift to an E half diminished. So it's the same shape as our C sharp half diminished earlier, but up at 7th and 8th frets. And then finally, we're going to go to an F sharp diminished 7, where we'll shift our ring and pinky fingers up to the 10th fret, middle finger 9th fret of the 5th string, and index finger on the 8th fret of the 3rd string. All right, so 4 chord shapes there for the final bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Take that really slow, because those are very unusual chord shapes that will test your finger dexterity. And the fourth line tab, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so that's verse and chorus 2, and along with the metronome, it will sound like this. Okay, next we get to the bridge and solo section. So there's 4 lines of tab here. First off, I'll teach you what the rhythm plays, and then I'll teach you the lead guitar on top of it after that. So first off, for the bridge, we're going to go to a G minor 7. So it's the same as our F sharp minor 7, just up at 3rd and 5th frets. We're going to pluck it the same way. So 6th, 4th, 3rd and 2nd, back to 6th twice, and then 3rd and 2nd. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we get to a regular C chord. Thank God there's a regular open chord shape here. We're going to pinch the 5th, 2nd and 1st strings, then to the root, then pluck the open 1st string back to root. Index finger comes onto the 1st fret of the 1st string, pluck that, right? Then back to root, and pinky finger goes up to the 3rd fret of the 1st string and back to root. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then to an A minor chord where we'll pluck 5th, 4th, 3rd and 2nd to the 5th string twice, and then 3rd and 2nd. Right, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then B flat major 7. We're going to pluck 5th string, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, then open 1st, back to 5th, and then with your index finger, bar it, and then pluck the 1st fret of the 1st string. So to begin with, you don't need to bar your index finger there, just hit the 1st fret of the 5th string. Alright, so that's the first line of tab. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. For the second line of tab, we'll take this same B flat major 7 shape up to 6th and 8th frets, so it's E flat major 7. We'll pluck 5th, 4th, 3rd and 2nd, back to 5th string twice, and then 3rd and 2nd. Right, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then take our ring and pinky fingers down to the 2nd fret, so A7 shape. We'll pluck 5th, 4th, 3rd and 2nd, then a pinch of the 4th and 2nd strings, then shift that ring finger up to the 4th fret, middle finger onto the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, pinch there, and then up to 5th fret of the 4th and 2nd string. Right, so and the bar in total 1 and 2. For this third bar, we'll shift up to a D major 7 shape, but we'll just need to pinch the 4th and 2nd strings. We're just going to pinch those strings and then lift our fretting hand, and we'll do that so that you got that staccato feel, and we'll play that 6 times. And then we're going to do all down strums 5 times at a quicker speed. And all together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the bridge in total will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Now the next 2 lines of tab are the solo section, and rhythmically you're playing the first 2 lines of tab for verse 2 and chorus 2. So we've already pretty much learnt it. It's that E minor 7, the A7, the D major 7, the B7 sus4, E minor 7 again, A7, A over G, F sharp minor 7, that C6 flat 5, the B7, and then the C sharp half diminish, and the D sharp diminished 7. So all of that is just the first 2 lines of tab for verse 2. Okay, so let's take a look at the solo now. So the solo technically starts at the end of the bridge, and there's a quick run here. We're going to start the 2nd fret of the 4th string, pluck this, and hammer on to the 4th fret. Next, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 4th fret, right? Then 3rd fret of the 2nd string, 5th fret. then 2nd fret of the 1st string, 3rd, 5th, and back down to 2nd. So quite a few notes there, and in total. Right, now we move on to the 3rd line of tab. For the first beat, we're going to pluck that 2nd fret again of the 1st string and hammer onto 3rd fret. And that's going to be held into the next bar. For the next lick, we'll pluck that 2nd fret again, 3rd fret, and then 5th fret, 3rd fret, and end on 2nd. So this lick in total. For the next lick, which starts in the 4th bar of this line of tab, we're going to go up to the 7th fret of the 1st string, pluck it and hammer onto 8th fret. Right, I played that with my middle and ring finger. And then there's a 4-note run down to 7th fret, 5th, 8th fret, and 7th fret of the 2nd string. Right? And then one more pluck here, the 7th fret, and hammer back onto the 8th fret. That takes us to the next line of tab. So the run in total. For the next lick, we go back down to 7th fret of the 2nd string, 8th, up to 5th fret of the 1st, down to 8th fret of the 2nd string, 7th fret, 8th fret, and then back up to the 5th fret of the 1st string. All right, so those notes. And we end with 2 more notes here, the 7th fret of the 2nd string twice. So the solo in total will sound like this. Then finally we get to chorus number 3. Okay, so there's 3 lines of tab here. The first line of tab is the same as the 3rd line of tab for verse and chorus 2. All right, so it's that E minor 7, the G minor 6, F sharp minor 7, B7 sus4 to B7. All right, we already learned that earlier. For this next line of tab, we go to the E minor 7. We're going to play 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd back to root note. Then that pinch down to the A7. So, all right, bar in total. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down to the A7 where we'll pluck 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd, and 5th string twice. Back to the 3rd and 2nd. So 1 and 2 and 3 and the next 2 bars are the same as the 3rd, 4th bar in the 2nd line of tab for verse 2. So it's that F sharp minor 7, C6 flat 5, B7, C sharp half diminished, and then D sharp diminished 7. All right, so this 2nd line of tab. For the 3rd line of tab, our first bar is the same as the 2nd line of tab. So it's that E minor 7 and then our pinches down to the A7. When we get to the A7, we're just going to strum it though and hold it out, where we'll then end the song with the D major 7. So the 3rd line of tab. Hold it out and then end the song with the D major 7. That's it for chorus 3, which is kind of just comprised of parts that we learnt earlier in verse and chorus 2. And that's everything you need to learn for this song. Again, there's a lot of bar chords in here. I have a free bar chord survival guide which gives you an instructional bar chord PDF and 2 must-watch videos that will help you with your bar chords. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of the song with a vocal track on top for some context. Big thanks to my friend Eric for lending his wonderful voice to this playthrough. Again, if you are new to fingerpicking, then I've got a free mini course called Fingerpicking Foundations, which teaches you 3 incredibly valuable exercises to develop control and clarity in your picking hand. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go.
For just the chance to win your heart, you can set the bar beyond the stars. I'll do anything, anything you ask me to. Say you want the moon, watch me learn to fly. Ain't no mountain you can point to crazy, but it's true. There's nothing I won't do. I'd risk it all for you. To hold your hand and call you mine. I'm trying to be your man till the end of time. Oh, I'll do anything, anything you ask me to. Sacrifice my life just to hold you. I could go on and on to prove that you belong here in my for you.
Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons here. Now, if fingerpicking still feels a bit clunky or inconsistent, then check out my free Fingerpicking Foundations mini course. It walks you through 3 beginner-friendly exercises to build control and confidence. You can grab that by clicking below. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.